Today we're talking about 5 reasons to move forward with vision, things we want to answer for people in our congregations. Whether you realize or not, everyone has a different reason to jump into a vision, a different angle at why to get involved in something that the church is doing. I just want to capture those with 5 questions. The first is this: why leave here? Why leave here? You've probably heard Bill Hybels talk about his here to there concept, and people won't move there until they have a compelling reason to leave here. They have to have a discontent with the status quo, a reason to make change, because most people like to stay comfortable. I remember in the life of our church, there was a time where we were talking about adding a service and moving people to a different service, and people simply did not want to move. So we had someone in our congregation go out in the parking lot and count the number of cars that could not find parking spaces. And then we went back to the congregation and said, hey, last weekend we had 10 families that drove around our parking lot, could not find a parking space, and we missed the opportunity to share the gospel with these families because we would not make room for those who aren't here yet. And yet we're a church that exists for those who aren't here yet. We exist to advance the gospel. Would you please join us in this vision? Why leave here? The second part is the why go there? Why is that the destination? Why is that the place that the leadership wants to go? What do we think God's going to accomplish? What do you think the church is going to do? What do you think is going to happen if we move to there? If we add that service, or we move to that location, or we have another multi-site, or we start this program, or we hire that staff person? Well, what's going to be the result of that? And people need to buy in to the life change that's going to happen as a result of moving that direction, listening to the voice of God. Third is, why now? Timing is everything. The right idea at the wrong time will simply not make sense. It's okay, for example, again, to add a service, but if your second service is only half full, it's not going to make sense to them to add another service when you've already got plenty of room in one of your existing services. The fourth one is this: how will we get there? How will we get there? I've said before, in leadership, there are 3 things leaders do. They define reality, they dream the future, and they design the path. The defining reality is the here conversation. The dream of the future is the there conversation. The how conversation is the path. How are we going to get from A to B, from here to there? People like clear, simple steps. They like logic. They like things to make sense. They like to see that a plan is in place, and this is not just a dream, it's going to become a reality. And then finally, what do we need to do, or what do you need me to do as a part of this process? People want to be involved in vision. They want to know what the expectations are from leadership. They want to know exactly what you want them to do. I want you to move off this service to that service. I want you to give toward this cause. I want you to consider leaving this campus and going to that campus, or going to that church plant. I want you to pray about this. Be very, very specific. People want to know exactly what you expect. And listen, clear beats clever every time. People want to know exactly what to do. When you do these 5 things, when you make these conversations clear, people will be excited and engaged in your vision. This has been a Converge Whiteboard Leadership Moment. To learn more about Converge or to join us, check out converge.org.